I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that mechanics won't tell you. But before I do, if you've ever wondered why your mechanic never looks at your oil, ever wonder how often they actually change their own oil, or what they really think about the brake myths every 3,000 miles, stay tuned. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here. And today we're gonna talk about the big lie, the one that keeps on giving, the one that everybody tells everybody else, but nobody really knows who started it. Okay, drumroll please. The myth that has been circulating around the globe for decades is this: you need to change your oil every 3,000 miles. Where did that even come from? Was it a big oil plot to make more money? Was it an old mechanic who just wanted to put more miles between his shop time? Or was it somebody like me, trying to spread the word? Well, the truth is that there's no definitive answer as to where the 3,000-mile myth came from, but we do know that it's not based on any sound engineering principles. In fact, modern oils are so much better than they were 30 years ago that changing them out every 3,000 miles is just not necessary. This is a big relief for many people because it means that they can go longer between oil changes without risking damage to their engine. In addition, it saves them money on labor and parts, and it reduces the amount of waste oil that needs to be disposed of. So how often should you really be changing your oil? The answer is it depends. It depends on the type of oil you're using, the type of engine you have, and the driving conditions you're operating under. But as a general rule of thumb, you can go a lot further than 3,000 miles between oil changes these days. In fact, most manufacturers recommend changing your oil somewhere between 7,500 and 10,000 miles. Some manufacturers even recommend going longer than that. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should go 10,000 miles without changing your oil and then check it. If your oil looks dirty, or if it's been a while since you changed it, it's probably time for a change. But there's no hard and fast rule about when you have to change it. As long as your engine is running smoothly and doesn't seem to be using any extra oil, you should be fine. If you drive mostly city miles with a lot of stop and go traffic, you may need to change your oil more often. That's because the engine doesn't get a chance to warm up properly, and the oil doesn't get a chance to burn off any of the contaminants that are in it. Driving in extreme heat or cold can also require more frequent oil changes. So if you live in a hot climate, you may need to change your oil more often. The same is true if you do a lot of towing or hauling. Those activities put a lot of stress on your engine, and they can cause the oil to break down more quickly. Bottom line, use your common sense. If you think it's time for an oil change, it probably is. But don't go changing your oil every 3,000 miles just because that's what you've always done. It's not necessary, and it's a waste of money. Another big lie that mechanics won't tell you is that they actually do look at your oil. In fact, they usually take a quick glance at it, maybe smell it, maybe even dip it on the end of a rag. But in most cases, they're not really looking at it closely enough to tell if it needs to be changed. There are a few reasons for this. First, they're busy. They have a lot of cars to look at, and they don't have time to sit around and scrutinize every quart of oil. Second, they may not be trained to look at the oil closely. After all, they're mechanics, not chemists. And third, they may not want to offend you. If they tell you that your oil looks a little dark, you might think that it needs to be changed. But if it doesn't, they don't want to hurt your feelings by telling you that you've been wasting your money on unnecessary oil changes. So what should you do? Well, first, make sure that your oil is clean and at the proper level. You can do this by checking it regularly and adding more oil as needed. If your oil is dirty, or if it's been a while since it was changed, it's probably time for a change. Don't wait until your mechanic tells you that it's dirty. By then it's too late. Your engine could be damaged. Second, if you're not sure whether or not your oil needs to be changed, err on the side of caution and get it changed. It's better to be safe than sorry. Third, find a mechanic that you can trust to give you honest advice about your oil changes. This can be a tough one, but it's important to find someone who will tell you the truth, even if it costs them a few bucks. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Until next time, I'll see you guys out on the road.